So, Borderlands 4 has been officially announced with a teaser trailer, but if you didn't play all the way through Borderlands 3 and some of the spin-offs, you may not know what any of it means. What's going on? I'm Cashew, and today I'm going to be going over all of the Borderlands lore that is most likely going to lead into Borderlands 4. This isn't going to be a full story recap, more of just pointing out specific parts of the Borderlands story that could come into play for BL4. The first thing we need to touch on is the Watcher. After Athena is captured by the Crimson Raiders, she is interrogated on her time working for Jack. She spills the beans on everything, but Lilith decides to execute her anyway. The order is given and the firing squad shoot, but before the bullets can hit Athena, they stop in the air and fall to the ground. A Guardian then comes up from behind them and says, "Now's not the time for bickering. War is coming, and you'll need all the Vault Hunters you can get." At the time, most thought this was going to be our tie-in to Borderlands 3, but the Watcher got no mention in that game besides one audio log from Nereid, who's a Siren. That revealed that the Watcher saw Nereid wipe out the Iridians. It didn't try to stop her or anything, it just watched her do it, which is where, at least lore-wise, they get the name from. There's also more lore of the Watcher from the pre-sequel itself. In the Hidden Echoes found in Stanton's liver, you can discover the story of Annie and Emily Swan. Annie Swan was a broke doll cleaner working on Elpis when one night she felt like someone was watching her. Her daughter Emily was sick and presumably dying. The Watcher sightings became more and more frequent until one night the Watcher appeared over Annie and told her she will live, leave this planet. The next morning, Emily was fine. Nurse Nina said that there was a bright purple light that appeared over her, and then she made a full recovery. Annie and Emily then took the Watcher's advice and left Elpis for Pandora. There is a lot unanswered about the Watcher, like what their powers are or what their purpose is, but the biggest question everyone has is what is the war they were talking about? How does the Watcher know the war is coming, and why was he like 5 or so years early with the information in canon? Something else that is incredibly important to note is where Borderlands 3 left off. It's a bit messy, so I'll explain. The ending of Borderlands 3 saw the Siren Tyrene open the Great Vault, which was itself the planet of Pandora. The key to the vault was its moon, Elpis, which meant that Tyrene had to draw the key closer to the planet to open it. This caused Elpis to be stuck on a collision course into Pandora. So after Tyrene was dealt with and Lilith received her powers back, she flew into the moon to teleport it away. The game wasn't really clear on what happened, which led people to think that Lilith might be dead or they were stuck in between dimensions, but no, Elpis and Lilith were just teleported to an unknown location, as we can see in the teaser trailer. Right before this happens though, Lilith gave Sanctuary and the leadership of the Crimson Raiders to Ava. A controversial decision that got a lot of fans mad. There's a lot of places that they can go with it, but it's really up to the writers if they want to go anywhere with it or not. Speaking of though, Ava did get her own DLC in Borderlands 3. It didn't expand on her role as the leader sadly, but it did give a lot of hints to Borderlands 4's potential story. This manifesting itself in the Seer, a guardian like the Watcher who has powers to see the future. The Seer has been in the background throughout the games manipulating events so that a terrible tragedy doesn't occur. This sometimes helped the Crimson Raiders and at other points helped the Calypsos. Everything they did went according to plan right up until Lilith got her powers back and phase walked the moon. This broke the timeline the Seer was protecting, as they can only manipulate humans, not Sirens. So whatever terrible fate that was going to be caused to the world is now unavoidable, at least as regular people are concerned. The Seer sees Sirens as chaos incarnate that threatens the very existence of fate. So they try to kill Ava, but are unsuccessful and they die. The Seer dies, but before they're gone for good, they tell Ava that Lilith is still alive, which will lead into the Crimson Raiders looking for Elpis throughout the galaxy, because if you find Elpis, you will find Lilith. On the note of Sirens though, a big part of Borderlands lore are the Sirens. Since Borderlands 2, we've learned that only 6 Sirens can exist in the universe at one time, and they can only be women, apart from Troy, but that was like a conjoined twin situation, so he really lucked out. You become a Siren at seemingly random. Some are born with it, some are young and then got the powers later, and some have their powers passed down. More on that later. The Sirens we have seen in the series are Lilith, Commandant Steele, who is dead, Maya, who is dead, Angel, who is dead, Troy, who is dead, Tyrene, who is dead, Amara, Tannis, and Ava. From Borderlands 3, we also learned that there are only 6 Siren powers. They don't change. The ones we know of are Phase Walk, Phase Shift, Phase Lock, Phase Arms. I mean, there's a ton of different things Amara can do with the arms, but you know, they're all arms, so I'm just going to call it that. And Phase Leech. Leaving only one power we have yet to discover. Technically, there could potentially be one more because of another note from Nereid's writings warning us about the 7th Siren. The writings state that we should not find the 7th and implies that they are a great danger. It's highly speculated that the face at the end of the Borderlands 4 teaser trailer is the 7th Siren, possibly making them the main villain of the game. Borderlands 3 also taught us that Sirens can choose their successors. This is how Ava received Maya's power of Phase Lock, and presumably how Tannis received Angel's power of Phase Shift. There is still a lot we don't know about this. It kind of just happens in game. Maya doesn't do anything specific to give Ava her powers. Instead, she just kind of has a feeling it will happen, and then it does. But speaking of Maya, a big thing to mention is where all the previous playable Vault Hunters are in the story, and how likely they are to return. Roland died in Borderlands 2, Lilith, as mentioned, is somewhere unknown, but definitely alive. Rick and Mordecai formed the B team in Borderlands 3, and are largely separate from the Raiders at this point, despite being a big part of it in the past. Personally, I think it would be a huge missed opportunity to not have them return to a bigger role in the story. Moving on to the Borderlands 2 Vault Hunters, Salvador and Axton were last seen as the host of Arms Race, a battle royale game show. This sadly makes them returning unlikely unless their roles are significantly changed. Zero is currently working for the Atlas Corporation with Reese. Maya died in Borderlands 3. Gage is a wedding planner and still semi-active Vault Hunter as seen in the book Borderlands Dead or Alive. And Krieg is with the Crimson Raiders, where he has just recovered a more sane version of himself in Borderlands 3's Clustercluck DLC. The pre-sequel Vault Hunters are Athena, who is somehow now the CEO of Hyperion as of new Tales from the Borderlands. It makes no sense, but it's canon. Nisha died in Borderlands 2, Wilhelm died in Borderlands 2, Aurelia died in Borderlands 3, Claptrap will 100% return as he is the mascot for the franchise, and Timothy Lawrence, Handsome Jack's old body double, was rescued by the Crimson Raiders from the Handsome Jackpot Casino. I don't know how likely he is to return, probably not very, but I'd love to see him back, at least for a side quest, right? And finally, we have the Borderlands 3 characters. Amara is the only character we know for certain will have to play a role in Borderlands 4, just for the fact that she is a Siren. Zane, Mo's, and Flack's stories are completely up in the air at the moment, and it's all on Gearbox for where they want to take them. Zane was the fan favorite from a character/dialogue standpoint, so I'd wager if any of the remaining three would return, it'd probably be Zane. But as you may have caught me mentioning before, there was a book that recently released called Borderlands Dead or Alive. It is canon and takes place directly after the original Tales from the Borderlands, but before Borderlands 3. There isn't too much really big lore in this book, but there are a few things worth knowing. Just FYI, I'm not going to be doing a full summary of the book. This will just be a select few important scenes. The book's primary setting is on Eden 5, the home planet of Gage the Necromancer. Countess Holloway runs the planet and is the mother of Gage's high school bully who she accidentally killed. After opening the Vault of the Traveler in Tales from the Borderlands, Fiona and Reese enter the vault and are given one wish each. Reese wishes for official Atlas paperwork that he technically already had, and Fiona wishes that Sasha was there. Yep. But Sasha wishes for something more, a Typhon de Leon Vaultlander. For some reason. They go to Eden 5 to sell it to Holloway when Gage busts in and smashes the Vaultlander into Holloway's face. Fiona and Sasha then take Gage down for a bounty and are incredibly rich. Sasha, however, isn't content with just the money and busts Gage out of the Eden 5 prison to go vault hunting with her. To prove her allegiance to Gage and to bring a blown-up death trap back to life, Sasha follows to shoot herself and let her pocket watch from the end of Tales revive her. It's revealed that her pocket watch has a green anahadium shard in it which can bring her back to life. The duo of Sasha and Gage hunt a vault together, but Sasha still isn't content. She then decides to go back to Fiona and clear all the debt of the people stuck on Eden 5, which has run off the rich people, forcing debt onto the lower class for labor. At some point in the middle of all this, it's revealed that Sasha and Reese are in fact an item and remain to be by the end of the book, so we don't actually know where Sasha is still at all in Borderlands 3, where hidden echoes reveal that she is missing and Reese is looking for her. With the help of Gage, the sisters clear the debt on Eden 5, kill Countess Holloway, and decide to hunt for the anahadium shard, which leads into the final part of today's discussion, being new Tales from the Borderlands. I'll be honest, most of this game is a lot of unfunny filler, but it does have a lot of really new important lore that will definitely play a role in Borderlands 4, with the anahadium crystals being the main thing. The gang of three, Octavio, Anu, and Fran, find the green crystal shard in the Vault of the Devourer. They recover it and turn it into a gun that can bring people back from the dead. As Anu grabbed the shard though, she became possessed by the spirit inside the crystal. After like 5 hours of nothing, the game is captured by the Tedior Corporation. The CEO, Susan Caldwell, takes the shard from them and reveals that she already had her own anahadium shard, but this one was red and has destructive power instead of the green's healing. She shows this off to a bunch of rival CEOs, being Wainwright Jacobs for the Jacobs Corporation, Reese Strongfork for the Atlas Corporation, Katagawa Sr. for the Malawan Corporation, the aforementioned Athena for the Hyperion Corporation, and Mr. Torg Hi-Fi Lexington for the Torg Corporation. I've already talked about how weird Athena being the Hyperion CEO is, but but Torg being CEO for his own company is actually just wrong. In Borderlands 2's Waddle Gobbler Headhunter pack, it's revealed that Torg sold his company to President Smith for $7 and a high five. Torg himself was just kept around for marketing and was fired from it in that same Headhunter. So this has either been retconned or is just a small mess up that we'll never talk about again. Susan Caldwell goes on to show the power of the shard. The red can instantly kill anything and the green can instantly heal or revive anything. She wanted to use this to torture planets at a time to do her bidding, but can't when the green shard fuses itself with Anu. Fast forwarding a bit, Anu is forced to choose between fusing with the other crystal as well, or to let Susan do it. Fusing with the shards causes her to turn into basically a god, with her body being used as a vessel for the spirit in the shards. They show off their power by replacing all guns in the universe with tacos and then kill everyone who has ever killed another person. Octavio is able to talk the fused Anu down, and the integrated shard removes itself from Anu and flies away. The other choice leads to Susan fusing with the shards and the gang working together to kill her. This ending is a lot stupider with just how it happens, which leads most people to think that the former is the canon choice. Whatever the choice though, the integrated shard escapes and Fiona is seen in the outro figuring out that the shard is headed into the Gladius Nebula, a location we have never seen before in the series. The addition of the shard was probably the most controversial decision the series has ever made. It really got fans into an uproar. There have been quite a few people hammering for the game to not be canon, me included, right? But with how the book led into it and how the individual pieces lie, it's most likely going to be canon, so we can only hope that they handle it well. And that, ladies and gentlemen, leads us to the present day. Hopefully that prepared you for Borderlands 4's story. Let me know in the comments if there's anything big you think I missed, as well as if you're excited for Borderlands 4 or not. But thank you guys so much for watching, and let's do the channel member shoutouts. My channel members are JBH, who was the ghostwriter for the Bible, Wesker520, who goes out fishing every Wednesday with his pet bear Rufus, Angel B, who knows the secret code to your treehouse and is going to change it when you're not looking, watch out, Chimpy Scrimpy, who is the current spelling bee champion of the world. It might only be 3 letters, but they're really fast at saying it. Jaden H, who is so good looking that upon seeing themselves in a mirror, they exploded. Thankfully though, they were so good looking that they were able to charm God, so they came back to life with immortality. Noah Rollins, who accidentally finds buried treasure like all the time, bro. Handsome Frank 63, who told me he knows Larry the Lobster in real life, and just for that, I want to be his friend. Tryptophan, who you might know as the guy who saved the chipmunks from going extinct last year. Vince But Just the Hat, who is secretly the writer of all popular songs from the past 87 years. Death, who after a short meditation session can shoot rockets out of their eyes. Nevertheless Raven, who is just real happy to be wherever the hell they are. That guy never takes a moment for granted. Koi Cadaver, who is the reason you were able to get back on your feet. They've been manipulating events from the shadows for years. And Tree of Aspen, who I'm pretty sure is a dinosaur. Like, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. Not sure which one, but I'm pretty sure. But oh my lord. Thank you so much for this support. There are so many of you. I can't believe this. I really appreciate the fact that you guys would go on to give me further support like this, so just thank you again. But if you want to join the crazy amount of people in this list and get a shout out message of your own, you can by hitting the join button below the video. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.